So I'm in charge of the IT team at Denham Capital. We're a local private equity firm based in Boston, presence in Houston, London, and Australia. We invest in energy all over the world. At any given time, our 100-employee user base, I would say 50% is traveling to these different nation states. Their computers are at risk, their data is at risk. So some of the things that keep me up at night are, infected laptops coming back into the network. How do we segment that? How do we prevent data from getting siphoned out? One of the big issues we have now is, end user training. How do we keep our employees that have access to all of our data from, compromising the systems? We can put in, millions of dollars in technology, and if a user clicks a link, the entire file system will be encrypted with nuclear. The other big thing that I fight is, I must get 10 or 15 cold calls a day, different vendors, just trying to sell you products, trying to see through, what products do we actually need to spend money on, what products are just, fluff. We get attacks every day, and just trying to keep those guys up.
Good evening. First, Andrew, thank you very much for the opportunity. I greatly appreciate it. Hans Olson, I'm the Assistant Undersecretary for Homeland Security for the state of Massachusetts. And I asked Andrew not to say my entire title because it's very long and lengthy, and we'll still be talking about it. I'm also the Senior Advisor for Anti-Terrorism and Cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is a component of what I'm doing. And I look more at it from a policy and programmatic focus rather than kind of hands-on keywords and technical focus. And big things that we're worried about, as many folks are, is cybersecurity attack against not only the Commonwealth's critical infrastructure, IT systems, but the critical infrastructure owned by the private sector as well. We own very little critical infrastructure, i.e. electrical grids, oil and gas pipelines, things of that nature, but we do have a response capability when an attack does happen. So working in conjunction with our private sector partners and with our federal partners and local partners as well, how we come up with a holistic cybersecurity approach for Massachusetts.
Thank you. First, I want to thank Andrew for hosting us this evening. My name is Morey Haber. I'm the Vice President of Technology for Beyond Trust. I work in the Office of the CTO, and we are a cybersecurity company focused on privileged access management and vulnerability management. We have a unique offering that marries internal and external security threats and a single pane of glass to understand where insiders and external threats originate. For myself, I've been in the industry over 25 years. I started doing basically defense work, building flight simulators. Turned that into a little bit of work at CA, and then have been at Beyond Trust for over 13 years. I've got a lot of experience all the way back to the mainframe, and hopefully I can answer some of your questions that will be presented today on what modern cybersecurity looks like, and some of the trends that we've seen over the years, things that we've completely forgotten about, now coming back to haunt us. Simple things: phishing, vishing, whaling, techniques that are just being reinvented. Basically things we've seen in the past, but whether they're email scams or mail scams, now being used in the modern digital age, compromising environments. So I'm looking forward to the questions and providing answers to you.
Wow, don't have follow-up on that was good. I'm impressed. My name is Travis Barlow. I'm the Vice President and partner of the Go Secure Data Hunt team at Halifax, Nova Scotia. I am Canadian. Don't have a smooth intro, I do apologize. I should have done some more about this. A couple things that concern me today, of course, are all the attacks we're seeing out there. We're going to detail during the question period, but what really concerned me more, and it's been a concern for the last 8 years, has been the way the Vulsec industry itself has been treating consumers and customers, and how a lot of times, Peter mentioned, folks are trying to sell things, solutions, if you will, that don't always fix the problem, or sell the goods. So right now, it's a pretty hot topic for me. If we do touch on that question, you may get a response that may be less than flattering, but I'm good at that, so thank you very much.
So within each of your given industries, what's the biggest threat that you're seeing nowadays? Is it social engineering? Is it insider threat? Is it Betty in accounting leaves the laptop in the car when they go to get lunch and it gets stolen? What kind of threats are you seeing now, and then what are you projecting in the next year to 5 years?
And we've been getting a lot of phishing. The problem is people are too trusting. So, you know, you meet people in the industry, you work with people, you move on to other companies. You haven't talked to the person in 5 years, that person gets compromised. The email comes from their account and it has malicious attachments. We've been doing a good job blocking them. We've changed the culture to, you know, anybody has a question about this email, you forward it to a certain address. IT checks it out.
To answer the same question, to follow up on my colleague's answer, the human element is probably one of the most highest risks that we're dealing with. This is where fundamentally most of the breaches are coming from. Because that information is shared, it's not commonly rotated. As humans, we make mistakes and use the same passwords across multiple sites. Mark Zuckerberg did that. If any of you have seen the news, he used data across multiple sites, and his own Facebook account was compromised yesterday.
Ransomware, very simple. We're going to make money on you. So, as an attacker, they're going to get you to open something you shouldn't open. They're going to play on your emotions or your curiosity. By phishing, you open the attachment, your machine is encrypted, you have to pay 1.25, 2.75 Bitcoin, you pick your Bitcoin rate of the day, and you pay that, and then we unencrypt.
I would agree. I think the person is the thing that we have to focus on the most. Awareness and education, making sure that they open those emails and those attachments that they're not supposed to be. And then also you mentioned leaving computers behind or phones behind. I think that's another thing to look at. And just from a state standpoint, also looking at third-party vendors as well. So people that come in and can touch our system, make sure we're vetting those folks and make sure we're doing due diligence on them.
How do you assess a third-party vendor to ensure that they're hitting the proper requirements, that they're not actually leaving a hole in your infrastructure? Let's say it's an HVAC system, that there's no pivot points throughout. How do you ensure that threat is reduced?
Yeah, so from a state standpoint, the first hurdle is just getting on the state list of appropriate vendors that can actually do work for the state. So there's some vetting process that goes on initially. After that, because we have such a large attack surface, if you will, it's going to depend on each individual secretariat and agency that they do their due diligence on. Is that the right answer? Probably not. Can we do a better job? We should do.
Do we set the information security policy, the policies and procedures up first? Do we implement the technology first? How do we bridge that gap, just like bridging the employee gap with the chain of command and security? Like, how do you actually build that infrastructure up? Is it the policy and the procedures? And if so, do you do those first over technology, or thoughts on that?
I believe it actually starts at the top down. Whenever you're talking about a policy or procedure, management has to adhere to it too. Make it entertaining for your employees. Give them some type of reward. We're human beings. Guys, we're doing cybersecurity training tonight. Pizza's on us, beer afterwards, we got Uber for everybody.
I think you need to attack it with, baseline technology, antivirus, spam filtering, firewalls, the basics. You train your employees, you teach them to look out for certain types of attacks. You write your policies, you get management to buy in on the policies, and then you reevaluate. You see what gaps you've then not fixed, and then see if there's a technology out there or a policy or procedure or another way to do something to tighten up those gaps.
What are your thoughts on cyber insurance?
As my colleague said, cyber insurance is a double-edged sword. It's almost a necessary evil, but if you're not doing the proper controls in the first place, the likelihood of not getting paid is higher. If you consider PCI or any of the regulations that are out there, they're just guidelines. They're not going to protect you based on their frameworks themselves. It doesn't matter which one you choose. Even if you are using the most strict application control or anything else, you always will have some type of rogue IT, shadow IT, or the laptop that just came back from China that potentially has got something on it. It's very difficult to protect everything all of the time, and that's where cyber insurance then fills the gap just in case it happens. I do believe it's a necessary evil for organizations, but doing the proper controls in the first place mitigates most of the risk and will ensure that if it does occur, you will at least get paid to help compensate.
The other big thing that I fight is I mean, I must get 10 or 15 cold calls a day, different vendors, just trying to sell you products, trying to see through, what products do we actually need to spend money on, what products are just, fluff.
Even though I am a vendor, don't listen to my pitch as part of the initial conversation. You have to define your requirements first, whether those are the crown jewels within your environment or whatever type of information or data you're trying to protect. Every business is going to be different, but there is always an end game for any business. There's always that one piece of information, that one headline that would be catastrophic for your business.
So is it convenience or is it privacy? Like, is privacy dead to the consumer or what?
I think privacy is pretty well dead in this age of Facebook and everything else. Privacy concerns from the consumer end. I'm concerned about my privacy. All these guys up here, you are as well, but you know what? The stuff I see on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, the Snapchat stuff you're telling me about last night, I don't know if we got that in Canada. Apparently I don't know much about it, but I gotta be honest with you, all the stuff that's going out there, I don't think the new generation cares about privacy at all. Or have any concerns about the risks.
But we do have a conflict in generations and of opinions of people that want to be completely off the grid and don't have any information shared, to people that have no problem sharing everything they do. And somehow we have to have that balance.
And there's definitely been a lot of breaches recently. MySpace, Target back in the day, Anthem. Is PR not affecting these organizations to speed up the process of investing in information security? Does anyone really care?
I think they're affected, but I don't think they care. I mean, people still go on their daily lives, and if there's no direct effect on their bank account, their house, their car, their prized possessions, they'll get a new credit card in the mail in 3 days, or you'll get a free year of credit checks from Anthem or whoever got breached, but it's too hard for them to keep up with. I mean, they see a few of these on the news, but grandma's not looking on the internet to see every company that's got attacked in the last year.
I've heard that a lot of the news about a lack of coming up professionals in the pipeline, I guess. Any thoughts from you guys as to solutions from that, schooling, training, different things like that?
Probably a shortage of the 10,000 cybersecurity type professionals out there right now. I did mention Boston College started their MS in cybersecurity, and I think a lot of schools are seeing that as it's going to be a revenue generator for them, because a lot of people find that rewarding. But we are suffering a shortage right now.
I would guess maybe in 5 years it is a lot of micro-segmentation through different technologies like VMware NSX, and Cisco has a play in that. And as you leverage the cloud, can you also micro-segment the cloud?
So looking at you asked about 5 years from now, well, what's the next hilltop? What's that next thing that we're going to look at that's going to help us? We actually had a company in today, a vendor that's doing quantum mechanic encryption. So it's very interesting. We're nowhere near going to that route, but maybe we can do a pilot test for them with our data centers and see how that works. So I think that's what we have to start looking at for 5 years from now. That next evolution of cybersecurity.
If you see something suspicious, say something. If you don't, no one benefits, and potentially the guy that's next to you that's not thinking, you might click on it.
Do your research. As we talked about, requirements. Find out what your business needs. Find out the best way to do it at the lowest cost. Then implement it. It's not always about paying the most money anymore. It's about getting the results. And I'll leave you with that.